In my father's time... In my father's time, many moons ago, when I was a small boy, you see, I lived in a very small town in Kerry called Ballyhavidesh, you see. So it's a very, very small town. In fact, it was so small they used to take it in when it rained, you see. And I remember I was a very happy little child, you see, and I was a bit of the village gobsh Egypt, you see. And I remember the queerest things used to happen in those days, of course. That was long before the statue started moving, you see. God comfort them, you see. And I remember the village was good. It was a strong village, and the people used to live to an age of 100 and 110 and 120. Oh, we had to shoot some of them to get the cemetery started, you see. And by God, we did. And the architect built the cemetery on a hill. And by God, the air up on the hill was better than it was in the village. We had to get a caretaker to go around all day with a big stick in his hand. And he's saying, lie down, lads, now, lie down, get up. I remember one day, I was coming down the main street and there was Tom Murphy coming up the far side with the hall door of his house under his arm. What are you doing, says I, with the hall door under your arm? Says he, I lost the key. I'm afraid I'll be locked out when I go home. God says, you better not lose the door or you'll never get in. Says he, it doesn't matter, I left the window open just in case. There was queer things happened to me. But I remember Nadine was a friend of mine. He was at Jarvey down in Tralee. And Nadine was a great man for welcoming tourists. And an American came into the hotel one day and he walked up to the counter and the American, you know the way they speak very quiet with the American accent. He walks up to the porter, not the porter, the porter. And he says, my name is Bert Rubenstein from New York. And yes, that's what he said. My name is Bert Rubenstein from New York, and I'd like someone to take me for a ride tomorrow on the Jarvey. And the porter says, well, you're very welcome. A great pleasure to have you here. I knew I got it wrong, so yes, he should be saying, hold on. Anyway, the American said, well, I'd like someone to take me for a ride tomorrow because you're in the right place now. I'll get the right Jarvey. He'll take you for a spin. Well, the following morning, Nadine was up at about 12 o'clock that night, you see, and he was washing all night, getting the cart clean. And then about 6 in the morning, he started to scrub his ass, you see. And, well, it was an ass he had instead of virginity, you see. And he's scrubbing the ass, and he couldn't get the, he couldn't wash the whole of his ass at the same time, you see. He was scrubbing sections, you see. And he's scrubbing the ass all over, you see, and by the time he was finished, he had the cleanest ass you've ever seen in Kerry. The cleanest ass, just spanking clean. And he went along to the American, and he looked at him outside the hotel, and now Nadine didn't talk as clear as I did, you see. And he went up and he says, I said, did you talk to me? The American thought he was in Russia. He didn't know where he was. He said, do you speak English? Oh, you know, and he said, I could talk about him for a while. Well, he described how to get under the cart. First of all, you come out here, put your foot in the cart, you see, talking about, you see the step. And I wish you would ask me how you're talking about the cart, you see, down there. And then I'll be going along with the cart, you see, and I'll be belting along with the hoop, and he's talking with the tail will be going like that in the yard, it will be quite a back. And we got, I said, I'm talking about, we got the ship all over the place, and the ship in the road, we talking to the scat, we skidding all over the hop. He chased the American may as well know we in Switzerland, he didn't know where he was. The American went into this shop, they stopped because he wanted a few carrots for his ass, you see. And the American went in and he picked up a huge, big cucumber. Here, can you tell me what kind of vegetable this is? Oh, we got the answer that cucumber. Why, back in the States, we got green beans as big as those. Oh, we got the Carina, we should talk, we knocked you head down. We got the American picked up a huge melon. Here, can you tell me what kind of fruit this is? Oh, we got the other, there is a melon, you see. We call it a melon here. So back in the United States, we got grapes as big as those melons. Yes, I'm not surprised. He's a big mouth like yours. We just have that village. Well, we got the American went over and picked up a head of cabbage, and Nadine got his own back. He says, lay down those Brussels sprouts. You're in Kerry now, says he, and give her a lash, says he. And that's the way it was.